Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to share with you the many benefits of adding tofu to your diet. Tofu, also known as soybean curd, it's a soft cheese-like food that's made by curdling fresh hot soy milk with a coagulant like nagari, a compound found in natural ocean water, or by using calcium sulfate, which is a naturally occurring mineral. After the curd is produced, it's chopped into 1-pound blocks, packed in water for consumer use. You know, tofu dates back to China as far back as 200 BC. It's still a dietary staple throughout Asia today. In cooking, tofu soaks up any flavor that's added to it. You can crumble it in a pot of chili, you can blend it with smoothies, you can even use it in chocolate cream pie, and it really does take on those flavors. Tofu mainly comes in 3 different textures: silken, for use in cream pies and custards and sauces; soft, for use in recipes that call for blending; and then there's the firm and extra firm, where recipes you want the tofu to maintain their shape, like grilling, stir-frying. Maybe you cube it for a salad and you want it to stay in that shape. The firm style also has the highest protein content, with over 9 grams of protein per serving. In addition to being a high-quality protein food, tofu is naturally a good source of B vitamins and iron. The only drawback to soy are the genetically modified varieties, so make sure to read your label and only buy the non-GMO types. I have a block here that I want to show you. When you read this label, you make sure you look for that where it says non-genetically modified. That's very important. Now for some buying and storing tips. Tofu mainly comes in these water-filled tubs like I have here today, which, you know, this is plastic right here. It's got the water in it, and then it's been vacuum packed so it stays on the shelf, just like this in your refrigerator section at the grocery store. It also comes in a box that we call aseptic boxes, and that you'll find in your grocery aisle. But either way you buy it, once it's opened, it spoils very quickly. So it's best to store it in a container covered in fresh water and kept in the refrigerator. The only thing is, you have to change the water every day to keep it fresh. I always forget. So I've found it's just best to cook the whole block at once, and it will keep about a week in the refrigerator. Tofu can be frozen, but that changes the texture dramatically and makes it a little more spongy, perhaps a little denser and tougher. That's great for grilling, but not for sauces. Well, you may be wondering how to use tofu. Basically, it's for everyone. Since it's really soft, it makes a great first food for babies and toddlers, a great little snack for little ones. Anyone who has a hard time chewing or swallowing. It's fantastic crumbled into meatloaf or casserole. You can blend it with meat, and the family will never know. I'm going to make you one of my daughter's favorite breakfasts. It's a simple tofu scramble that is tasty and so very healthy. I'll start by taking 1 block of the tofu, draining it really well. I want to show you how I've done this. You take that block of tofu and put it on a paper towel for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll even go ahead and put another paper towel on top of it, and then maybe a saucer and a can of vegetables or whatever, just to give it a little bit of weight for a good 5 to 10 minutes and get all that water out. That way it will stay formed when I chop it. So I'll take this block of tofu, which I already have drained, and then I'll just simply cut it into cubes because that's how my family likes it. I've got to tell you, there's no right and no wrong way to prepare this. Do it how you like. Some people like to take it and just crumble it so it really looks like scrambled eggs. Whichever way you like it is just fine. I just simply take and cube it up like this because that's how we like it in my household. We like it to kind of maintain its texture, and that way you can eat it easily with a fork. So I'll just do that and then just kind of chop it and then place it into a mixing bowl. Again, you'll see recipes where people will just go ahead and put it in their pan and then add their seasonings, but I find putting my seasonings in a bowl works much, much better because it blends up really well. And you know how we talk about how tofu is basically like a sponge? Well, this way my seasonings are going to really blend in good and it'll soak it up. All right, this is something, I mean, you can go to your spice cabinet and anything goes. Since tofu is so bland and it's going to absorb these spices, we want to really spice it up. So I always start with a teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder, which I have right here, just a simple teaspoon of each one. Sometimes it can get a little humid, so you just scrape it out. That's fine. And then a little poultry seasoning. That's just where I start. Then I love to put a tablespoon each of dried basil and parsley. And what I'll do at home is I'll take this basic recipe that we've just done. I'll blend those together and put them in an empty spice jar. Then whenever I'm in a hurry, I can just grab that, and it's really easy. So I'll just kind of mix those around. And this is where you can have a little bit of fun. I love to run out to the herb garden and just clip whatever looks good that morning. Sometimes it's rosemary, sometimes it's thyme, oregano, whatever. And then I'll just whirl them in my little grinder just for some added texture, color, and flavor. Okay, so you can see how that's coming up nice and pretty. Now here comes the fun part. So this one is just wonderful. We're going to put a little turmeric. This is that spice that gives it that fantastic yellow color. I want to take a little time here and show you what this turmeric looks like when you buy it in the store. See how it's that bright orange color? This is what has that curcumin in it. This is fantastic. Remember how we talk about the excitotoxins? Richard was explaining that to me yesterday, that what it basically does is it blocks the excitotoxins, so it's a buffer, if you will. And if you'll use that in your diet at least once a week, you'll really get that benefit. So when you add your turmeric, you just go ahead, sprinkle it in there, and stir it around, and don't be afraid to add more if you want to. I just kind of do it as I go. At home, I never measure this out, so you may want to add a little bit more. Because, you know, when you make a breakfast scramble like this, I guess what I'm trying to say is this really is a faux egg dish, but yet it's not. I'd like you to think of it as just another food. But I do like putting that yellow color in because it makes the family go, oh, that kind of looks like eggs, but doesn't have the cholesterol of eggs. So I want a little bit more turmeric in this. So I'm just going to take another pinch and put in here because I love that really yellow color. Plus, I want to fight those excitotoxins. Okay, so we've got that in there. Now, a little sea salt. Remember, always use sea salt, 25% less sodium than regular salt. And then our tamari soy sauce, which also doesn't have those excitotoxins that a lot of your traditional soy sauces have. No MSG for this cook. All right, look at that pretty color. Now this is going to taste just great. So what we're going to do is just heat up your skillet on medium heat, which we've done here. Add some olive oil, just like that. Stir it around, and then start sizzling. This is going to be great. Okay, you're going to want to shake your skillet, stir it around really good because it will stick kind of pretty quickly there. Smells so good already. You just have to cook that down a couple of minutes till it's nice and browned on all sides. Now, while that's cooking, let's talk a little bit more about the ways that you can buy tofu. You know, you saw how we had it, all these different, like you've got your silken, you've got your firm, your extra firm. I pretty much always buy the extra firm because I find, it's just the most useful for me, and I like that high protein content. But now the stores have the varieties that come pre-cubed. You might find that as well, and it's really good. Again, I just want to emphasize that whichever kind of tofu that you get, be sure you get that non-GMO. That's the most important thing that I could tell you today. Okay, so we're just going to stir this back and forth. See how it's getting nice and crusty? Isn't that nice? Doesn't take much time at all since we drained it really good. Okay. Now, to serve this, it's just wonderful. We can put that on a plate with any breakfast food. You can serve it with potatoes. You can put it with other types of breakfast meats, oatmeal, fruit toast, whatever you want. This is just great. Okay, that looks good enough to plate up now. I can't wait to get this out for you. I know what I'm going to be eating today. Okay, let's go over to our plate. With the side of fruit, you'll have the most delicious and healthful breakfast ever. Just look at that. Isn't that great? You know, this recipe is so versatile. You could use the same in wraps. You could top it on a salad. I cook up a batch like this, and I'll keep it in the refrigerator for whatever someone wants. Maybe you want it for lunch in a wrap. So as you can see, tofu is for everyone. It isn't just for vegetarians. It's for whoever wants to get healthy. Anyone who wants to cut out the fat of red meat and wants to get that cholesterol down. Just by incorporating foods like this in our diet, we can slowly regain our health and vitality and enjoy tasty food as well. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. For a copy of the recipe, log on my website, print it off and enjoy, and please stay tuned. We'll be right back for more of your health.